morning guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Laurel. I do mommy and lifestyle videos over on this channel, and I also have a family vlogging channel. So I am here today to do an update on my DockATot. So we've now been using the DockATot for almost 3 months, and I wanted to do a 3 months later, how it's been working for us, full sort of review. I did a first impressions type review when I first received the DockATot many months ago, long before my son was born, and I also did an unboxing on the vlog channel. But I wanted to do a full review for you guys and tell you just what my thoughts are about this product now that we've been using it. Just a warning, if you hear any strange noises, my son Sawyer is over here playing on the floor beside me, so that's what that is if you hear anything odd. There he is, right on cue. So let's get into it. This is the DockATot Deluxe in Minty Trellis. I personally wouldn't call it mint if you're looking for a review on the color. I would say it's definitely like a light teal aqua sort of color. Mint, in my opinion, would be a little bit more green. Semantics. So that's the DockATot that I have. This is not sponsored at all. They just sent the product to me for review. So let's jump into it. When we got home from the hospital in mid-August, we started using the DockATot right away as our nighttime sleeping arrangement. I must preface this by saying that in Canada, at least, I'm not sure how they've marketed it elsewhere. In Canada, the DockATot is not marketed for overnight unsupervised sleep. So I have to put that out there. It is meant to be a docking station, somewhere where your baby can nap if you're right beside them, watching them, checking on them, etc. Because we are co-sleepers, we really weighed the pros and cons of all of our options that we had for safe co-sleeping. One of which being just having the baby in the bed between my husband and I, having the baby in a bassinet beside our bed, using the DockATot in our bed between my husband and I, and the final option being a sidecar crib, which is where you take the one side off the crib and you attach the crib to your bed. And what we narrowed it down to was that we want to do a sidecar crib long term, but our current bedroom doesn't have room for it. So we are currently finishing our basement and building a bedroom down there where we will have room for the sidecar crib. So shortly here in the future, that will be what we were doing for safe co-sleeping. But until then, we needed an option in the bed. And we weighed the pros and cons of having sort of unsupervised sleep in the DockATot as opposed to having the baby just in between the two of us. And we felt good about our decision that the DockATot would be safer, that it would prevent rollover hazards, that it is tested for breathability, and we felt good about that. And our son also wears a Snooza breathing monitor, which I'm actually going to talk about in another video that's coming up of my newborn favorite products. So I won't talk about that now, but he does wear a breathing monitor, so that just gives us even more peace of mind. So that's how we're using the DockATot. It's in the middle of our bed, which I wish was a king size and is only a queen size, in between my husband and I. And as you can see, the DockATot is quite large, like if you look at it beside my body. So while it does work in a queen size bed with 2 adults, it would definitely be more comfortable in a king size bed. So how's it working? That's what you're here to find out, I'm sure. Sawyer has slept in the DockATot since the night he came home from the hospital. Since the night he came home from the hospital, he has only woken up once a night to eat. Once. I did breastfeed the first couple weeks, so that in and of itself, him only waking up to nurse once in the night, was pretty unreal in my opinion. I don't think that's something a typical newborn does right home from the hospital. He did switch to formula after a couple of weeks, and that trend continued and even got better. The stretches got a little bit longer. So while I can't credit his amazing sleeping abilities to the DockATot, I'm not gonna get rid of this to test the theory. So you can take my word for it, or test it out and come to your own conclusions. But he sleeps like an angel in this DockATot, and I am so, so grateful for it. Other things we do to aid him to sleep He gets fed, changed, swaddled in a swaddled knee velcro wrap, which I'll also probably be talking about in my newborn favorites video. And then we lay him down. Usually he's awake. Sometimes he falls asleep during his bottle, but usually he's awake, and we lay him down, we pop the pacifier in his mouth, and he just goes to sleep. I know. I know I have some sort of landline to the sleeping gods or something. I'm very, very grateful that he's such a good sleeper, but I honestly think the DockATot has a lot to do with it. I think him being in bed with us probably makes a big difference. Him being on formula, I'm sure makes a difference. And then him being in the DockATot, which is so comfortable, but also still sort of cocoons him in like a womb, I think just makes him feel really secure in his sleeping environment. I can't imagine sleeping on a hard crib mattress at 0, 1, 2 months old. I don't imagine that's very comfortable out in the open, out in the cold, without your mummy that you've been sleeping inside of for the past 9 months. I really think the DockATot's really hit the nail on the head in terms of creating a safe and comfortable environment for your baby to sleep in or dock in. I'm not recommending that you co-sleep with this, as I said before. So the DockATot is working great for us in terms of sleep. It's amazing. We absolutely love it. It's definitely my #1 must-have newborn product. I will, however, follow that up by saying, would I have purchased this if DockATot hadn't offered to send me one? Probably not. And the reason for that is the price tag. Having a mortgage and 2 cars and 3 children, there's not a lot of room in the budget for extravagant purchases. Like in Canada, this thing's almost $300. So almost $300 for what on the outside looks like a pillow, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able to purchase it even if I had wanted to. So I am very grateful that DockATot sent it to me, but I do want to say, if you can afford it and it is within your means and this is something that you think you want, I would absolutely buy it and try it out. And worst case scenario, if your baby doesn't love it, if you don't love it, you can sell it. You can sell it for very close to retail value. So I think it's an investment worth making, in my opinion. As for the durability and quality of the actual DockATot, I don't know if you could see it on camera. I purposely didn't wash it before I filmed this video because I wanted to be able to show you guys if you can see. I'm not too sure. There's a little bit of yellow staining around the edges here, which is most likely because my son's a puker. I do actually lay a receiving blanket on the bottom when he goes to sleep, just so when he lays down there's like a little bit of protection. I know that's probably a little bit counterintuitive and probably not at all to the manufacturer's recommendations because it probably makes it a little less breathable, but I couldn't bear the thought of ruining this with my poor refluxy baby's spit up every single night. I know that washing something constantly is obviously not good for the wear and tear on it, so that was my solution. So there is a little bit of yellow staining around here, whether that's from his puke or from greasy hair or whatever, that is there. As I said, this hasn't been washed. We've only washed it once, and he's almost 3 months old. So I am actually gonna wash it after I shoot this video. The other thing I would point out is that where the Velcro straps are on his swaddle knee, it looks like they've actually been catching a little bit when he squirms around in the night, because there's a little tiny patch right here where the fabric has started to get a little bit pilly almost, so it looks like the Velcro was just sort of rubbing up against it a little bit. So I would caution you to be careful with the Velcro swaddles if you are using them. And as I said, we have washed it once. My husband washed it. He made the mistake of putting it in the dryer, unfortunately. We didn't wash the pillow, just the cover. So unfortunately it did end up in the dryer. So as you can, I'm not sure if you can see that, the zipper is now all like wavy. So it did shrink a little bit and become a little bit misshapen, unfortunately. I'm hoping that after I wash it this time, I can sort of give it a little bit of a stretch and let it air dry, and hopefully that might resolve itself. I'm not sure, but if you're gonna wash it, make sure that you don't put it in the dryer. And then I would just maybe recommend you get one that's not white. That would be my only recommendation. Honestly, I think all this will come out in the wash. It did the first time before I started putting the receiving blanket down. All the puke stains came out. So it's very durable. It's very good quality. It works amazingly for us. And I highly recommend investing in the DockATot, especially if this is your first baby and you plan on having more. Absolutely spend the money. I would love to know if he would sleep as well without this, just for curiosity's sake. But I honestly think that this has been a lifesaver for us, and it has made the whole newborn phase so much easier for us. So that's my full review of the DockATot Deluxe. Here, do you want to finish the video with me? Can you tell the people how much you love your DockATot? Hey, can you tell them? No, you just want to look at the light, huh? Those some good filming lights? Tell the people. There they are. Tell them how much you love your DockATot. You tell them. You sleep so good. So that is my full review of the DockATot Deluxe. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. And I will leave the unboxing and my initial impressions in the description down below. My initial impressions video, I did talk a lot more about like the specifications and what it's used for and all those sorts of things. So if you really don't know about the DockATot, I would definitely go watch that video as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!